All right, this is module Engage New York, Module 1, Lesson 4. This is the problem set debrief. So remember, if you can do this and you did well on the problem set, then the homework is going to become extremely easy. So let's go through and walk through this real briefly, and you can take a good look to see what I did here. So 3 meters to centimeters, remember what we know about that when we're going from larger units to smaller units. When we go from bigger units, bigger units to smaller units, it's going to take a whole lot more smaller units to fit into one bigger unit. So we are multiplying. If I'm going from smaller to bigger, it's going to take a less amount of units to fit into the bigger. So we're going to divide. So we do this with tens, hundreds, and 1,000. So 3 meters is 300 centimeters. This is what I want you to get good at right here as well, is writing down 3 times 2 to the second is equal to 300 centimeters. Then we have 105 becomes 1.05. This is what we're dividing because we're going from smaller units to bigger units. 105 divided by 10 to the second. And remember, we're using our exponents. That is like our key, really working on those exponents right now. Then meters to centimeters. This is what it should look like. Centimeters to meters. This is what it should look like. Remember, decimal moves 2 times to the right. Decimal moves 2 times to the left. 9.2 becomes 9.2 times 10 to the second, which becomes 920. 920 centimeters. Then centimeters to meters. Notice it's 0.04 meters. In the space below, list the letters of the problems where larger units are being converted to smaller. So in A, C, and E, we went from larger to smaller. Now, converting an equation with an exponent. So now, use your meter strip if it helps you. Now, you could use a meter stick as well if you happen to have something like that at home. I think it equals about 39 inches. But remember, it is the length from the floor to doorknob is 1 meter. 3 meters is 300 millimeters. This is what it looks like when you're converting using an equation with an exponent. Here's your equation. That's what we are doing up above as well. Remember, multiplication. Your decimal goes, your numbers are getting bigger. Your decimal's going to the right. When you're dividing, your decimal is going to the left. Right? Division. This is what your problems are looking like. Hopefully you were able to successfully do that. In the space below, list the letters of the problems where smaller units are being converted to larger, C, D, and F. All right. You guys hear, that's what that meter strip that they're talking about is. Now, read each aloud as you write the equivalent measures. Write an equation with an exponent you might use to convert. So remember, this is going to be on the quiz tomorrow. So you want to be confident in using those exponents. So 3.512 meters becomes how many millimeters? Oh, I didn't shift that. So I apologize for that. Give me 1 second to change that. Sorry, that should have been a comma. The meters converts to how many millimeters? So it's 3.512 times 10 to the third. So I move it once, twice, 3 times, and now I end up with 3,512 millimeters. All right, meters, meters, millimeters, centimeters. So it's essentially dividing by 10 to the second, and you get 0.018. 42 divided by 10 to the third becomes 0.042. 0.05 times or multiplied by 10 to the third becomes 50 millimeters, and 0.02 times 10 to the second is 0.2 centimeters. All right. Last but not least is the length of a bar of, remember, here is a jump bar, must always be 4.75 meters. Express the measurement in millimeters. Explain your thinking and include an equation with an exponent in your explanation. So 4.75 meters is equal to 4,750 millimeters. Since 1 meter is equal to 1,000 meters, I multiplied. So this is what I did. 4.75 times 10 to the third is equal to 4,750 millimeters. All right. A honeybee's length is 1 centimeter. Express the measurement in meters. Explain your thinking and include an equation. So 1 centimeter, is equal to 0.01 meters. Now, since 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, I divided. 1 divided by 10 to the second is equal to 0.01. So this is my equation with an exponent. Now, explain why converting from meters to centimeters uses a different exponent than converting from meters to centimeters. 1 meter can be unbundled into 10 centimeters. Each centimeter can be unbundled into 10 millimeters. So 1 meter is the same as 1,000 millimeters. So 1 millimeter is equal to 10 to the second centimeters, and 1 meter is equal to 10 to the third millimeters. All right, that is it for problem set debrief. Now, remember, the problem set goes exactly with the homework. It is exactly the same, but in the homework, it's working on height again. It's working on a ladybug's length instead of the bee. And then this one right here is a length of sticky notes. I think you can do it. If remember to go back to the debrief if you need a little help on how to write this out, what it should look like. All right, good luck.